Welcome back to the channel, you guys, and welcome back to a new video. This week, my dog's rubbing her face in the blanket. How funny is that? My room looks perfect from your guys' point of view. It's not. Kids' toys everywhere, blanket on the ground, dog rolling in the blanket. That's real life for you, folks. So today's video is on what you should not do when you're looking to buy a new house. I speak from experience. Actually, currently, I'm going through the process of buying a new house. Previously, I've only bought in one home. Now I'm looking to buy my second home. And my first home, I didn't know at all what I was doing. I had no clue what was going on. I didn't have my real estate license. I wasn't really told much about the process, and I got really lucky. Luckily, when I turned 18, my mom opened a credit card for me, started building my credit. She spent all her money on it, and she paid it off every month. I got lucky that she paid it off every month, and I got a good credit score from it. I had done well with my credit. I had a job. I proved my 2 years of employment, and there I was, into my first home. Second home, huge mistakes. So for starters, I started watching Graham Stephan, actually, and he talked about credit card churning, except not like churning illegally, but just like credit card churning to get the rewards, right? And so I was like, okay, I'll open some credit cards, get some extra money, and it's great because I'm just spending the money I'm spending anyway. I already had a few credit cards, and I had a great credit score. I was right under 800.
I almost broke the 800 mark for credit score.
I knew that getting credit cards would dock my credit score a little bit, so I wasn't too concerned about it. I knew my score was going to drop a little bit, but I thought, hey, I'm going to be a dentist, and I'm going to be in school for the next 5 years of my life, so who cares? I'll stay in the house that I'm in right now for the next 5 years. That was my thought process when I started getting these credit cards. So I signed up for like 3 or 4 credit cards right when I started watching those videos about getting the rewards. And not immediately. I did one, got the rewards, did another one, got the rewards, did another one, got the rewards. And it was over like a span of 3 months. But then I, just on a whim, decided I wanted to sell my house, buy another house, and yeah, that's where I shot myself in the foot. I had just signed up for those credit cards, and so I signed up in like March of 2019, and I went to go buy a house in like June of 2019, and my credit score wasn't as good. But the problem is when you look at your credit score on a credit card app, it's actually better on there than it is in reality or when they check it for a mortgage loan. And so I was like 20 points lower than that, just under 740, and you actually get a boost when you pass 740 with your mortgage. You get a lower interest rate on your mortgage when you pass that benchmark of 740. And so unfortunately, I just dropped below that, and it was super disappointing. Because if I wouldn't have just opened those 3 credit cards, I wouldn't have those 3 inquiries and the major thing with opening those 3 credit cards is it took my average lifespan of having a credit card from 5 years down to like 2.2 years because I had just opened 3. I doubled the amount of credit cards that I had in a matter of 3 months. And so it lowered my age of credit, my average age of credit, a lot. So I didn't know that at that time. I didn't know that your age of credit was an average. I thought it was just based off your oldest credit card. And so I was like, oh, great. I've had a credit card since I was 18. So what, like 8 years, 9 years now? I'm good. Nope. It's not how it works. It's your average age of credit that matters. And so mine was actually a lot lower than it had been before. And that was my first huge mistake. Luckily, I didn't end up selling my house and buying a new house back in June. And now it's December, and I am selling my house and buying a new house. So that's the first thing. Don't get a bunch of new credit cards if you're going to go buy a new house in the next 6 to 8 months. Second, do not forget to get an inspection on your home. Whether your home is brand new or whether it's 150 years old that you're buying, I do not care. Do not forget to get an inspection. I'm in the process of buying a new home, a new build, never been lived in before, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to drop $400 or $500 on an inspection. Let's just skip it. And then I talked to a couple people, and one of them was like, "You should really get an inspection." And I was like, I don't know. And then they were like, "I just built a brand new home, and I didn't get an inspection, and my dishwasher just broke." And I was like, well, crap, that stinks. So I got an inspection, and here's a cool trick. I learned it from Chandler Smith. I'll link him in the description below because I think he's awesome. He has some great info. Ask the inspector if you can get a summary or just their notes of the inspection. They'll often deduct their price like half or at least $150 off the price just for that. They spend a lot of time filling out 40 pages of information that is just excessive. And in reality, you just need the notes, and that's sufficient. So that's what I did. I called up an inspector where I'm going to move, and I said, "Hey, can you go do an inspection for me? And by chance, can you just give me some notes rather than a full report?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's $250 instead of $400." And I was like, "Wonderful. That's excellent." There's a tip for saving money. Thanks, Chandler Smith. When my inspector went and walked through the house, he found 3 major things. One, the furnace wasn't connected to the gas. So the furnace in that home is ran by natural gas, and there was no natural gas line ran to the furnace. 2, he found that the dishwasher, ironically, the person who told me to get an inspection, their dishwasher broke, and now, ironically, mine wasn't connected. 3rd, probably the biggest of them all, he couldn't find any pressure regulator valve to the house. So the pressure was like upwards of 180 psi, and it's supposed to be like 40 to 80 psi. Yeah, I said 180 is where it was at, and it's supposed to be 40 to 80.
Good thing I got an inspection.
And I only had to pay $250 to figure that out and to get them repaired. So now I don't have to pay for it. The seller can pay for it. Thank you if you're watching this video. So the next thing is avoid contingencies. Avoid being contingent on selling your house. I was recently in school. When I was in school, I wasn't saving much money. We were living just barely meeting our bills off of what we were making, and it was a struggle. And so we didn't have a ton saved up. We've been able to save for the last 8 months, and that's been great. But I also have recently started a business, and that's had its own expenses. And so I haven't been able to save enough to put down on a new house, at least how much I would like to put down on a new house. And so we are having to buy this new home contingent on our home selling. And that's so that I can put down 20% on this next home. I don't want to put myself in a position where if the market crashes and falls and I have to sell my house, that I'm stuck and I'm upside down in my house. With 20% down, especially here in the state of Utah, I have a pretty good chance of being right side up in my house and not having to sell for less than what I owe. I am buying in a good market, and it should hold its value pretty well, even if the market were to crash. It's just a huge headache to have a contingency of your own home selling in order to buy another home. You have the stress of, okay, is the person going to back out from buying my house? And if so, am I going to lose my earnest money in the next deal? So that's the 3rd major thing, is try not to have any contingencies, especially of selling your own home. Try to have that money saved up. Do all that you can to save now. Put money in a savings account. Set aside for a down payment on a home. Try to put down a good chunk of change. Try to stay away, I would suggest, from the 3.5% or 5% down. You can if you have to. Just make sure that you will always be able to make that payment. Don't get upside down in a house. Don't bank on the market. Always going up and up. 4th, and my biggest mistake when buying a home, don't start your own company. that should go without saying. But when I started my company, I had no plans of moving. Luckily, I have a wonderful lender. He's done an amazing job with my loan. Don't put yourself in a place where you're trying to start a company and move at the same time. There's a few things wrong with that. One, they need 2 years of record of taxes from that company proving that the company's profitable, yada, 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 that you're making enough and you're doing the things right. And second, refer back to the first. That's the second. Just don't start a company when you're trying to buy a house. It's not going to help you in any way. Unless you know a different way around it, unless you know you're going to be able to get the loan, don't do it. I started my company just a little while ago. Luckily, I have income that isn't from that company, so it works out. Those are the 4 things not to do when you're looking to buy a home. Don't do those things. Don't open a credit card. Don't start a new company. Don't forget to get an inspection. Try not to have your purchase contingent on you selling your own home. All 4 of these things will just complicate the process. It's just going to complicate it. It's going to either give you a higher interest rate or a chance of not even qualifying for a normal conventional loan.
Don't do it.
I've had lenders say to me, oh, you're only going to get an ARM, an adjustable rate mortgage. And I'm like, nope, not doing it. Not going for a 5-year ARM. No way. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, smash that like button and subscribe below. Honestly, it just really helps the YouTube algorithm. It helps people find this video. It helps me reach a larger audience. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.